Breaking news here on Bengals Breakdown. The Joe Burrow contract has finally been completed just in time for week one for the Bengals as Burrow gets a massive, as expected, record-setting contract, a 5-year deal. So it'll be 7 years of team control for the Bengals, by the way. This year, the next year, and then the additional 5 years. $275 million. Those of you who are not mathematically inclined, that is $55 million per year, has $219.01 million guaranteed according to ESPN. That would be the second most guarantees behind that fully guaranteed deal Deshaun Watson signed a couple years ago after the Browns promised him that to get him to pick over them over the Falcons, by the way. Burrow gets the deal done. It is no longer a potential distraction for the Bengals entering week one. If you are excited, like the video right now. I think every single person is going to be hyped. So I've got the my Skyline shirt on in celebration too. So like that video if you are pleased with the Joe Burrow extension for Cincinnati. Again, the details, and it'll all be laid out in the copy, too, to make it easier to read, so don't just listen to it. 5 years. It does say, by the way, maximum 200. I should clarify that. Maximum $275 million. So there could very well be some, I call it funny money, some unlikely to be earned incentives, including, but not limited to, some Super Bowl incentives that would not be fully guaranteed or whatever. It does, we'll see if it's maybe more like $54 million, but as it is right now, $55 million per year. That is $2.5 million more per year than what Justin Herbert makes. But the way the contract will be structured, it'll probably be pretty decently backloaded. You won't feel the impact necessarily for a few years if the Bengals be more aggressive the way they've been in their structures, in the past. So grade the deal for me. A, B, C, D, or F. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and grade this extension A, B, C, D, or F. Kind of want to give it a B for Burrow, but I think A is also maybe the more apt number to give out there, or letter to give out there, because words are hard sometimes. You had to get it done, right? We all would have been pissed if Joe Burrow entered week one with no deal done. I know it's expensive. I know there is sticker shock. I understand all of that. This is how the NFL world works. The salary cap has gone up by nearly $40 million the past 2 years or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what the figure is. So you're not all going to pay it to the quarterback, but $55 million now is not that different than, $40 million, $46 million a few years ago. That's how the market works. So Joe Burrow is now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. The Mahomes deal is an outlier deal. Toss that one out the window. Better than Herbert. Better than Allen as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, of course it's expensive. It's how it was going to be. From that perspective, it does not necessarily preclude you from re-signing T. Higgins if that is the route you want to go. It will not preclude you from getting a deal done with Jamar Chase. Either that one, I'm positive, will end up happening. The top 10 highest paid quarterbacks then, as it sits right now, assuming that's not any funny money on the 275 for Burrow. $55 million for Joe Burrow. $52.5 for Justin Herbert. $52 for Lamar Jackson. $51 for Jalen Hurts. Kind of Aaron Rodgers, $49. That's a little bit deceptive. He's kind of played around. In fact, I'm actually not going to count him in that perspective. It's not really that number. Russell Wilson is at $49 million per year. Actually, I think that's what I meant to say. Kyler Murray's at 46. Deshaun's at 46. Kyler's actually 46.10. That's a bad deal. Mahomes is at 45. Josh Allen's at 43. Stafford, Dak, and Daniel Jones are all tied for 10. I don't know about you guys. I'd happily pay an additional $15 million per year if it meant my quarterback was Joe Burrow instead of Daniel Jones. Not to throw shade at Daniel Jones necessarily, but that's how quarterback contracts work. So I'm glad it's done. I'm glad this is not a thing we have to continue to talk about. I thought it'd be done earlier. I didn't think it would be $3 million, or not quite 3, but $2.5 million more per year than Justin Herbert. Although, okay, 2.5. You'll backload it, whatever. It's not going to feel like 2.5 immediately. And if that means instead of paying like a second Cody Ford each year, okay, whatever. It's not going to impact your building. It's fine. You'd rather have Joe Burrow, right? Glad it got done. Never in doubt. Maybe a little bit. It's a bit of a longer wait there, but I'm glad it happened. We will be live, by the way, for the Bengals-Browns Week 1 matchup right here on the channel, so please make sure you guys are subscribed. We will have a full live show, watch party, highlights, play-by-play, etc. Or highlights reaction, I guess, technically speaking, because we can't show the actual highlights. Make sure you guys subscribe. We'll look much better than in my basement. I'm glad the cricket, I don't know if you guys could hear it. It was a loud-ass cricket in the unfinished part of the basement. But hey, deal got done. Had to get the video out. Had to go breaking news here style. Very pleased. This is no longer a conversation. The Bengals were going to pay Joe Burrow. The guaranteed money is a lot, by the way. $219.01 for a reference point here. Justin Herbert got 193.74. There might be some adjustment from that potentially. Sean's at 230, which was a stupid deal for the Browns. FU massage boy. Lamar Jackson 185. So kind of similar-ish jumps from Lamar to Herbert to Burrow. A little under 9 from Lamar to Herbert, and then kind of around the same figure. Actually, a little bit more. Correction. Much more, actually. Now as I do math in my head, that's almost $20 million more. Hurts at 179.4. Russ is at 165. The Bengals don't necessarily do their whole restructures the same way other teams do, but to guarantee it's a pretty significant chunk of change that Mike Brown is promising his franchise savior. My ideal outcome, by the way, how about the Bengals make it to the Super Bowl and don't get screwed by the refs this time in the Cooper Cup flag on Logan Wilson. Everything's coming up Bengals right now. This was a deal you had to get done. I'm glad it's out of the way. And by the way, Thursday Night Football, season opener going on right now. I don't think it's an accident that this comes out, the day after Joey Bosa gets to become the highest paid defensive player, Burrow's good friend, and rep by the same agent, mind you. Right when Mahomes is playing, just something to take away a little bit of the attention from the Chiefs' stud quarterback, who I do think is better than Burrow, but not by a lot as far as I'm concerned. So I am very pleased the deal is done. I am very happy Burrow's not going anywhere, and I'm looking forward to him spanking the Browns in Week 1.